Now learning that Supreme Court Justice Clarence Thomas took at least 3 additional undisclosed trips on the private plane of GOP mega donor Harlan Crow. According to documents obtained by the Senate Judiciary Committee yesterday, Thomas traveled on Crow's private jet during trips in 2017, 2019, and 2021 within the United States and to Indonesia. The justice has come under scrutiny for his failure to include the trips on his financial disclosure forms. An attorney for Thomas defended his disclosure practices, arguing the information Crow provided fell under the personal hospitality exemption and was not required to be disclosed by Justice Thomas. The documents did not list the cost of the trips or why Thomas took them. Senate Judiciary Chairman Dick Durbin wrote in a statement, the Senate Judiciary Committee's ongoing investigation into the Supreme Court's ethical crisis is producing new information, like what we've revealed today, and makes it crystal clear that the highest court needs an enforceable code of conduct because its members continue to choose not to meet the moment. Al Franken, does Clarence Thomas even care? I mean, he could have disclosed that. He was called out for non-disclosure. That's the time to just get it all out there, right? What he doesn't even care, does he?
It is puzzling because he's had this problem before many times, and as each one comes out, you're just kind of wondering, well, when are the next 3?
Right.
You know, and you know, evidently somebody's going to find out about them at some point. Why not just come clean with all of them? But I mean, the whole pattern of this is having this guy pay for his son's education and pay for his where his mother lives, and then all these trips. It seems to be a drip that is why don't you just get them all out there, unless he thinks that there's so many that you can only do 3 at a time. That's all I can think.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Well, let's now bring into the conversation Democratic Senator Sherrod Brown of Ohio. He's also the chairman of the Senate Committee on Banking, Housing, and Urban Affairs. Senator, so good to see you this morning. Let's start here with this issues on the Supreme Court. Latest revelations from Justice Thomas adding to the litany of questions surrounding the court's conduct in recent weeks and months. And yet they continue to rebuff any sort of efforts to have any kind of ethics oversight. What needs to be done?
Well, I appreciate what Senator Durbin and Senator Whitehouse are doing to try to hold them accountable. It's just as Al Franken just said, one thing after another makes the public more cynical with this court coming down on making these wrong decisions. I think about what the court did 2 years ago in Roe, and I think about my race against a hand-picked candidate by the president, by the former president, who's wrong on abortion rights. I mean, he's for a national abortion ban, no exceptions. He says he's pro-life, 100% pro-life, no exceptions, and that's what's at stake. And in this election, and in my election, and many others, are we going to allow women to make these decisions, or going to have politicians in Columbus or in Washington who want national abortion bans to make these decisions?
And on this very issue, we heard from the Supreme Court yesterday on the abortion pill, letting it stand, but making it clear that it was just because of on standing, leaving the door open for future challenges. And at the same time, in the Senate, there was a vote on the IVF to protect IVF rights for American women and families, and that failed. Republicans voted against it. Give us your analysis as to what's going on here.
Well, the Republicans are not giving up on abortion. Clearly, my opponent wants a national abortion ban, so do many others. It shows what's at stake in my race and others. I ask people to come to SherrodBrown.com and make their voice heard because they don't give up. You look at the fact this court case, it should never have been brought. I'm not a lawyer, but the court never should have been dealing with an issue like this. And they are unrelenting as they are. I mean, just Ohio passed, as I think you both know, Mara, Ohio passed by 57% a constitutional amendment, a state that people think is pretty conservative, by 57% a constitutional amendment to support in support of abortion rights. Yet my opponent and others in Ohio have the arrogance of saying, we don't care about that. We want a national abortion ban. We're trying to undo that kind of decision by the Ohio voters. And it's pretty clear to all of us. I mean, that's what's at stake in this race and so many around the country.
Senator, so many reproductive rights right now are just on the chopping block. But it was a little surprising to see the measure to enact protections for IVF, in vitro fertilization, fail. Can you just give Americans a sense of whether there's actually room to negotiate to kind of enshrine some rights right now into law? And what happened there? Is there really no broad support for something like IVF in the Senate right now,
if you count
Senate Republicans?
If you count Murkowski
Katie Britton.
if you count Murkowski and Collins,
Right.
that's the broadest
for the broader
support.
measure.
Yes.
Right.
No, I mean they come up with other compromise bills, but they're not compromises. And Ohio women, I know, in all parts of the state, Ohio women don't trust people like Bernie Moreno on abortion rights, and they know their position on supporting women and women's health care, and they can, as people have said, don't listen to what they say, watch what they do, and they continue to aggressively, actively try to take away women's rights. And the voters have spoken loudly and clearly, but their arrogance and their certainty on this, and their following, like sheep, what they conceive as their political base is just wrong.
Mm-hmm.
Democratic Senator Sherrod Brown of Ohio, thank you so much for being on the show. Have a great weekend. Thanks
Thank you,
for being
Thank
on. We appreciate it. So I want to turn back to Chris Matthews and Al Franken. And this week, we lost veteran journalist Howard Fineman. President Biden paid tribute to Howard by saying, "Great journalists hold up a mirror to the nation and reveal the good, the bad, the truth of who we are as Americans." For 4 decades, Howard Fineman was one of the great journalists of our time. Chris Matthews, I'll start with you. Remembering Howard Fineman.
Well, he had this sort of medical sentence hanging over his head for more than a year and a half. He took it like, it's an old expression, but it means something to me. He took it like a man. I mean, he just took it. Mm-hmm. He knew what he was facing. He knew how it was going to end badly. And until then, he was always there in the room on the porch at his house. I sat with him like Al Franken did. We sat with him, and he was totally there, and he knew exactly what was coming to him because of the fates. Mm. And I'll tell you one thing about him, and Joe has talked about this with me, and you know this, these shows like Morning Joe, they make it because of who comes on the show. I mean, you really do. It's not just a couple personalities. It's these people that show up. And are always great. Howard would have his notebook out. I used to watch him. Right before he would come on air, he'd be taking notes from somebody at the White House or somebody else, deeply sourced. He wasn't BSing. He wasn't coming in with attitude or opinion. He was coming with facts, with reporting. He was a great reporter. And he was always reporting. We used to kid because we're about the same age, and we would kid about how I was Groucho Marx and he was George Fenneman, who was the guy that used to come on with the clipboard, and he would tell you who the guests were for the show. And he was always there with the facts. And there he is, Howard. And, he was just there on the porch with me. I hope I can always remember that with him and his wife, his beloved wife, Amy, and his kids, Nick and Meredith. And he was so happy with his family. He really loved them, and they were number one with him all the way.
Al Franken.
Well,
Al, can you talk a little bit about your connection with Howard Fineman and your memories today?
Well, I was a big fan of Howard's before I met him. I met him on a plane going from Chicago to Des Moines in 1987. This was we're going to the Iowa caucuses and do some reporting. I was at Saturday Night Live at the time. I had a satellite dish that I was going to do there, and this maybe had something to do with show business versus journalism. But I was in first class on the plane, and Howard was in coach. But I was a big fan of his, and I asked the flight attendant if he could come up and sit next to me. And this was 1987, so she said yes, and we got to know each other and became fast friends. and he was remarkable. He got me. He returned the favor by inviting me to the Savory Hotel to have drinks with all the press corps, where I got to meet them, and it was a fascinating window for me into this world that you're in of reporting and of journalism. And I was very impressed with everyone. But Howard was beloved by, I'd say, the whole press corps. And you've seen it, the outpouring, millions and millions of reactions online now, speaks to the kind of guy he was. He was a really good friend of mine. We talked about, he had a deep and wide understanding of America and American history. And he also had, and of NFL football. When Kirk Cousins went from the Redskins to the Vikings, he told me, "You're paying Tom Brady money for Kirk Cousins," and he was right. Cousins has a great arm, and he just isn't mobile enough, and so we overpaid for him. But yeah, everything Chris says is true. He was an amazing family man, and the outpouring that I've seen from journalists and his cohorts is just massive.
Former Senator Al Franken and Chris Matthews, thank you both very much for being on this morning. We appreciate it.